Well, we continue to enjoy this lovely elevator music. Shinuri, is the whole team here? Do you want to begin, or should we wait for a couple more folks from your team to funnel in?
I believe we got everyone here. Let's rock.
All right. Well, with that said, I will kill the music. First things first, I'm TJ. I'm the CCO at Everrise. On behalf of the entire Everrise team and community, we'd like to welcome Shinuri to the Everrise ecosystem. I'll hand it over to Peter to do his introduction. I see Jason is down there. I'm trying to get you up, my man. But Peter, off to you, my man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is indeed Peter. I'm the manager of legal operations at Everrise.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. And for those of you who don't know, my name's Jason Robinson, and I am the marketing director at Everrise.
And with that said, I'll pass it over to the Shinuri team to introduce yourselves.
Hey, y'all. My name's Cowboy. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Shinuri. And with me today, I got Charlie. He's the Chief Marketing Officer as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. Charlie here. Great to meet you all.
Hey, Charlie. Nice to meet you. I like the birds in the background.
Adds a beautiful touch.
Oh, they're live.
They are live indeed. So during the ecosystem space, we break it down to kind of learn a little bit more about your project, your plans, past, future, etc. So first things first, let's break down Shinuri. What is your protocol? What does your roadmap look like? Are you building anything? If so, what is it? What makes you different from others doing similar things in the space? The floor is yours.
Well, everyone, welcome to Shinuri. We're actually a relaunch from a previous project called Cryptoma. At that time, we didn't have really the eyes or the momentum that we really needed. Plus, we felt a rebrand was needed. Think of it like you're repainting your car and putting a new engine in it. It's still the car, but we're better and faster than ever. where we're going. If you go on our website, we have a roadmap and we're right on schedule. We're currently in phase 1 of developing our core foundation and our core team. We're basically right now, because we're in this bear market where everyone is, not really putting the money in where the market is. We're saying to heck with that. We have full confidence in our project. We're building our foundation. We're getting organic followers. We're getting organic marketing. So that I'll pass it on to Charlie to add anything that he would like to say as well, because I know how everyone loves a British voice on these calls.
Firstly, once again, hello. Thanks to Everrise. Big shout out to them and their community. As I said earlier, I'm Charlie, CMO of Shinuri. Thanks, Cowboy, for that intro. If it's okay, I would like to run through some questions so everyone can learn a bit more about us and shoot them over to you.
Go right ahead.
Firstly, huge news. NFL partnership, Lorente McRae. Wow.
Yep. So one question that y'all asked was what's our token different from other tokens? We're 3 weeks into this project in a bear market, as we said, and we're already getting NFL partnerships with Jacksonville Jaguars, LaTrent McCray. We have another massive partnership on the horizon. I'm not going to say who it is yet because we haven't finalized the contract and dotted the T's and crossed the I's. But unlike other projects, we're shooting outside the box and thinking out of scope. This next partnership that we're going to have, he's basically going to help us get into a new area in the world to bring Shinuri and cryptocurrency into a realm that isn't really thought of yet. While other projects are going for, other poker stars and UFC fighters, we're getting the other 95% of the world that isn't even touched by cryptocurrencies.
Thank you very much. Yeah, huge news. And just 3 weeks old. Crazy. Right,
So can I ask a follow-up question? Sorry to interrupt you guys, but what do these partnerships look like for you guys? What does Lorente McCray bring to the table?
Well, not only is he going to be an investor, he's going to bring eyes and ears to the project as well. He has a bunch of other players that he's talking to on his team and other NFL teams as well. His Twitter has, hundreds of thousands of followers on there. He's already fully announced us on there as well. He's just bringing more eyes and ears that we're going into the sports arena and the sports space that a lot of people don't know about cryptocurrencies or anything like that. They might see a commercial here or there, but we're actually gaining those people, gaining those eyes, and getting that interest from him and other partnerships that we haven't announced yet.
Totally. And exposure is so important. So when he or your other partners goes to people that may not be kind of comfortable with the Web3 space, what is he going to say to them to say, like, here's why you should get with Shinuri as opposed to, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum? What does Shinuri bring to the table that will ensure its longevity and success over the decades?
When people look at other coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they see this massive price index on the high market cap, and they think, "Oh, I don't have enough money to get into this project, or I've missed the boat," as so to speak. We're the community coin. We're the small cap that if people wanted to make those, moon project amount of money, we're that. We're not promising that we're going to be over the moon overnight, but we're at a very early stage in our process where people who don't know about crypto or thought they were too late into the crypto space, they can get in at a low market cap and hold it and make some good money off of it over the long term. Our website does have a step-by-step breakdown of how to get our currency. And his partnership is basically, hey, if I'm an average Joe on the street and I can get into it, so can you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of looking at this. So obviously your appeal is mainly that your low market cap, but like I think what Peter was trying to say, like people that are looking at cryptocurrency and seeing projects like Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, for example. What does your project? What are you building that you can tell us about right now that would excite people getting into your project?
I got
That
in
would.
this project, and one of the things that has been a tremendous, just an advantage for me as an investor is the USDC that Shaneri offers, being the ability to make money off of every trade that goes up or down. A lot of people look at the candles and they get scared when they see the red. Well, as an investor of Shaneri, yeah, of course, sells, but if you're a holder, a diamond hand person to where you are in, you see that, and you know that you're getting the reflections on the USD side, which is a tremendous asset where you don't get that with other coins.
Am I the only one that's getting a sound problem
Yeah,
here?
Rob, it sounds like the signal where you're at is not full.
Yeah, I think what Rob was mentioning there is our reflections, 2% reflections in USDC that add up rather nicely, as he said. Whether it goes in or whether it comes out, Shaneri holders are winning all the time. And as they are USDC, doesn't matter what happens to the market, your reflections, what you've received is that's it, they're dollars, done.
I apologize about that, guys. Is this better?
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I
So,
was driving.
was it a decision that you made because of the market to do reflections in USDC, or is that going to stay the same? Can you tell us a bit about the decision making behind that?
Yep.
I
So
I saw the project. I saw that these guys weren't promising the moon, and that really attracted me to the project because you see so many people saying we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and upselling the project. And these guys came out of the gate saying, listen, we understand and we're going to work for the community. And that's what attracted me the most to the project was their transparency and their honesty to where, listen, this isn't going to happen today. There was no pre-sale. It was just straight up, here we are, we're a project, and we're out here. This is what we're going to do for the community. And as an investor, I really appreciated the honesty about it, to be quite just, that's what attracted me to it, just the honesty and transparency of it.
Got it. So it sounds like holder protection is an important part of the ethos over there. And I was looking at the roadmap, and so perhaps as a part of that, there's specific market cap goals in various quarters going forward. What sort of regulatory implications do you think that has for a project when it is promising a goal to reach a certain market cap?
No, I think you'll find like when you're looking at the roadmap and it's saying a market cap, it's referring to when we reach that market cap, these things will be achieved. So,
I see. So it's like, if and when we achieve a certain level, then we'll be able to deliver on a certain set of deliverables.
correct. The roadmap is mainly what we plan on doing in each phase. Now, granted, we might skip ahead and already be working on a couple of projects on phase 2 or phase 3, even phase 4. But that's just our attainable goals that we want to give the users and the community as a whole as kind of a guideline of what we're planning and hoping to get. Now, of course, we can hit a $5 million market cap with only 100 holders, theoretically, or we might be already like we have in phase 2 an Everswap listing. We're already there and we're still working on our phase 1. So we always like to under promise and over deliver is what we're planning on doing with this.
One of the things I've seen these guys do as being an investor is from the beginning, it's been laid out very clearly that this is what's going to happen. Just recently, we got listed on an exchange, which is what everyone wanted. we got connected with Everswap, which is what was on the roadmap. So I think that the premise of everyone always wanting to moon quickly isn't in this project. It's work where I think Cowboy said it earlier. It is tremendously a community project. The greater involvement from the community will create the success for everyone's wallet. And having the ability to be on Trust Wallet in MetaMask, or you can physically go see your MetaMask wallet and see your reflections on USDC. And I think on the white paper and in the future, there's staking. So there's going to be double opportunity for us as holders to get staking benefits plus the USDC benefit. And I don't know that there's any coin out there offering both of those options for your, excuse me, for being a token holder.
Rob, awesome, excellent. I'm so glad that you are happy as an investor and satisfied with progress so far. But I was just going to drop that in about the staking, but you dropped it in there already, sir. Yeah, I'll pass that over to you, Cowboy, to give us a bit more details about the staking, please.
Well, I guess one of the cats are out of the bag that we were kind of holding back on. But yeah, so like Rob and Charlie were saying, so we have the USDC reflections, which is hard currency that you're looking and you're seeing the progress of the coin, whether we're going up or down. You get that back in your pocket as real dollars that you can spend. We're also developing a staking protocol where we have a 30, 60, 90, and 180 day lock on your coin that's going to be native token staking as well. We haven't announced any of the APYs yet, but if you're a long-term holder, not only are you getting USDC reflections, but soon you're going to be making native token staking rewards as well. So you're basically double dipping on rewards for being a loyal customer to us.
Awesome, thank you. And contracts is renounced, yes, and liquidity locked for 1 year. Is there any further news on that or updates?
Could I quickly ask why you chose to renounce your contract as opposed to locking it behind a community vote?
We wanted to renounce our contract so we can list on these different exchanges and swaps and know that it's not a honeypot or a rug pull or anything like that. We want the community to be happy with the fact that we're locked in, we're staying to what we promised we're going to be at, and we're not going to change the rules halfway through just because it suits our needs.
I mean, I've spoken to a few projects that have renounced their contracts over the last few months, and they're finding that with that can come obstacles when they look to try and innovate and be flexible, and potentially go cross chain, potentially opening up new liquidity pools, going on different swaps and exchanges. Are you not envisaging any issues in the future regarding renouncing your contract?
No, in fact, by renouncing our contract, we're actually able to develop some of the utilities we have in mind later down the road. It's easier to do than having to always change the tokenomics, if you will. So we're pretty comfortable in what we're doing with right now as far as renouncing the contract. Plus, before when we had Cryptoma, that was one of the main issues that a lot of people had with our project was the contract wasn't renounced and they didn't feel comfortable with the investments. Now that we have not only renounced it, but we locked it in for a year, and we're also audited, and we're also video doxed as well. People have a more comfortable feeling with partnering and working with us.
Cool. Let's take it back. Let's talk accomplishments to date. Let's change the pace here a little bit. What would you say you're most proud of that you've accomplished from the time, I guess, Cryptoma launched up until today?
Well, we're on it right now, an AMA with Everrise, our partnership, and working with you guys to be on the Everswap. Also, our partnerships with NFL player LaTrent McCray. And one that I'm personally in love with is our marketing. One thing we haven't talked about a lot is who we're targeting. We're not targeting some big influencers or anything like that. We're targeting people all over the world. We got YouTube channels with our videos in the native tongue of Koreans, Saudi Arabians, and China. Our development team, as you can tell, is in the UK and the US. Um, so my biggest personal pride in this whole project is that we're growing globally and organically. And in 3 weeks, we're already being listed on Everswap, on CoinStore Exchange. We got partnerships with people outside the crypto space. You show me another project that it has hit that in just the first 3 weeks alone.
So glad to hear that you guys, first of all, are on Everswap. We love it. We're happy with it. Why was it important to you guys to come on to Everswap? What did you see in it that was appealing to you guys for the longevity of your project?
We saw a very professionally made ecosystem that was confident, secure, and was well known in the space. We had our choice and options, but after going through it all and talking it around with the team, every time we talk to quote unquote influencers online, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, the name Everrise just kept coming up. So we voted on it. We said, hey, let's shoot some messages over to you guys, and we haven't looked back since.
Appreciate the kind words. And let me just give a little plug for Everswap again. Like, it's not just something people can splash on Twitter. It's also kind of a tokenomic revolution. I'm not sure if the Shinuri community knows too much about swap and liquify. What that means is, in order to assess tokenomic taxes, whatever the tokenomics are, for Everrise, it's 5% to liquidity. These tokenomic taxes cannot be assessed in native coin, like Ethereum or BNB, because we at Everrise didn't write the contracts for Ethereum or BNB. So what Everswap does, it allows a whitelisting process whereby the projects can take their taxes in native coin rather than in project token. So the way things have been going since the beginning was projects would have to assess a tax in project token and then sell that token in order to generate the rewards that they wanted. In this case, for Shinuri, it's the USDC rewards. With Everswap, that's a thing of the past. The taxes can be assessed upfront in natives, and therefore there's not that constant sell pressure that you see with a swap and liquify function. So the Shinuri team is out here making the Everswap deal happen. So for those members of the Shinuri community that are happy about that, go right ahead and use Everswap. That's the only way it works. Otherwise, you're stuck with swap and liquify on classic Pancake Swap, Uniswap, etc. So we're proud of it, and we're glad that you guys are on board. So cheers.
Well said. And Everswap only works if you use it. So ensure to use Everswap, Shinuri community. Let's talk about transparency for a second. So what made you want to start a project? What sparked the idea of Shinuri? And how accessible are you to your community?
Well, I personally have never developed a token before. I've always been a project manager outside crypto space. I've been investing in crypto for the last 7 years or so. But like I said, I'm a project manager outside for one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. I've done other projects in the past, but I wanted to dip my hand in this. So I reached out to a couple of people I know. A few of them have been successful developers of cryptocurrencies in the past. We said, hey, let's start our own. Let's get out there. Let's do something that no one else is doing by truly being a community coin. So when we did that, we made ourselves very accessible to the community. In fact, every day, even on my full-time job in my life, I'm on my Twitter, I'm on Telegram, I'm talking to people left to right. They can DM me if they like, and we're basically there for the people. We're not hiding behind no walls. We're, in fact, like I said earlier, Charlie and I are both video docs, and our photos are on the website. So if you want to go see my ugly mug and his beautiful face, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of guts to get out there and put your name and your face on something. I remember doctoring myself. It was not easy. You wonder what people are going to do, because when people's assets are on the line, you never know. And so, cheers to anybody that's willing to get out front of that stuff. You mentioned community, and I agree, community is extremely important. And it's also, in my view, important to organize communities around ideals. And so for Everrise, we take safety and security very seriously. For Shinuri, like, let's fast forward 5 years. What kind of ideals would you like the community to be organized around? And also, without using any language related to financial gain or profit, just what Shinuri represent? What is it building?
Shinuri's the future. And that's the thing that, as people look back at Shiba Inu and things like that, there's people who became very wealthy who got in early. And it has developed a quote unquote cult following. And Shinuri, based on the community with the developers and the moderators and the people that we have in place, that keeps me motivated to see the success of this project, is it's like you look at a set of stairs. You can't get to the top without taking one step at a time. And that was the thing, and is the thing, that keeps me interested in this product and wanting to see the success. Every day something can't happen, but at a week, at 2 weeks, at 3 weeks, a lot can happen. And if you look at where this project has come in 3 weeks, there is tremendous value in what this group and the development team have put in place. And that's where I think that Cowboy and Charlie were saying earlier, that guys come in and buy and expect to moon the next day. Those might not be the people that we're looking for. We're looking for people in this community that want to see this project grow and are in for the long haul, because that's where the value truly is.
So I'm going to hold you a little bit tougher on that, though. Like, is there anything besides economic gain? Is there anything, like, any kind of community ethos, something specific we can point to where we can say, like, Shinuri is solving X problem, and X problem doesn't relate to the financial incentives of the holders? Like, what kind of plans do you have for that?
Well, I could speak right off the bat by saying, just inside our Telegram group alone, we're a global community. We got people from all around the world, and one thing that I'm seeing that's being developed organically that I haven't even talked to the other devs about is how connected we are and how borders don't exist. Just the other day, I noticed one of our mods. He was very quiet in our Telegram group, and we had some people reach out to them. And he was like, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a while. What's going on?" And he straight up said, "Hey, I don't have enough. I live in Africa, and I don't have enough money for the internet. So my time here is limited." Well, within 5 minutes, we literally had the community pull together and transfer him some money so he could be online and enjoy life. And being online, especially in third world countries like that, is a life-changing experience. And so Shinuri is creating this life experience where people from anywhere around the world can connect with each other, become friends, get to know each other, and help each other out, and make a truly global community.
Appreciate that, and love hearing about the acts of kindness. Those are important to light the lamp as we go through. We can all be kind to each other.
The reason why I got involved in this project, to be completely truthful with you, is the honesty behind it. You just look and hear so many stories over and over again of someone, this has happened, that's happened. And I got involved with this group of people, and I just got to know that it's honest. And for me, there's nothing more than that honesty. Knowing that every day that I represent this token, I'm not making a fool of myself down the line, because nothing's going to happen untoward that's come from the team. And I know that. I can say that. There's honesty behind it. And for me, that is the whole reason why I was willing to put my name up and have my photo on a website, because I know that there's not going to be any comebacks. There's nothing that we are going to do any damage to this project now or in the future. We are here for us and everybody in the community, everyone to benefit. And that's it. That's the be all and end all. The utilities that we introduce and all the other things that come down the line, really, they're all just immaterial, really. It's
When
about,
when you say utilities at the moment, your utility is essentially a roadmap, and your roadmap is essentially growing a community, right? And then because obviously you're announced, so you can't do too much in terms of like function changes to the contract. So when you say utility, I'm just struggling to understand what utility are you going to provide, like long term, to holders, other than just growing a community.
Well, the project has in place the ability in the conversations that have been talked about. We talked about staking earlier. They talked about
Yeah.
NFTs for the top 200 to 250 holders, where those will be special NFTs minted in a certain category. And if you're fortunate enough to get one of those NFTs, you will also be able to collect staking and USDC off of that special minted NFT. So the avenues from NFTs to staking to the USDC, the rewards are there for the community, for the individuals who are involved.
So you're looking to reward long term supporters, right, via staking, yeah? And
yes.
Okay, and I didn't see staking on your roadmap. I'm sorry. What phase is that under, or is that yet to be added to a phase?
We're probably 30 to 60 days out on the staking. There's going to be a 30, 60, 90, and 120 option on the return. That return hasn't been decided from what I was told, so, and what I've seen, but I know that option there attracts me because of what Cowboy said earlier, having the ability to get USDC and then staking and the return coming back in Shinuri tokens. That's huge for an investor like myself.
Okay, so that's going to be added to your roadmap. So it's safe to say then that, you know, you mentioned that so did you say 30 to 60 days away from staking, or is there not a timeline on that at the moment?
It's right. 30 to 60 days before that's completed was the last thing I heard on an AMA this weekend.
Yeah. All right, so it's quite close then, really, in terms of, you know, your roadmap. I'm surprised it's not on there just yet. But then you did say earlier on that your roadmap's mainly centered around milestones within the holder and market cap, right? So does staking not have a? Are you saying that staking doesn't necessarily have that that requirement? You're just going to release staking when it's ready. Is that right?
Correct. The staking was an idea that we had that isn't currently on the roadmap, but like we said earlier, we wanted to promise and over deliver. So we try not to give exact dates, exact milestones that we're going to hit certain goals and items. But staking was one of those spur of the moment ideas where we thought, how else can we reward the community and all of our holders? Even though it's not on the roadmap, we're still looking and thinking of ways to develop and help the community as a whole. So the roadmap is just, you know, a rough guide of where we want to be, where we were thinking we're going to be. It's organic and it's going to change every now and then. Like we said earlier, the Everswap listing is on phase 2, and we're still going through phase 1 as we speak.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to kind of gauge where you guys were when it comes to like the rollout of you know, you mentioned the word utility, and when people say utility, I always hammer down what utility, because utility is a word that's thrown around this space a lot, and if people can't answer that question, then that's normally, something which I need to get an answer from. And staking is certainly goes part of the way to kind of answer that question. And obviously, I appreciate you're still a very early project, and you've got a lot on the overall roadmap that's still yet to be disseminated across to your community members. Talking to your community, how often do you hold spaces? Do you have Telegram voice? How do you communicate with your community and give them updates regarding your roadmap?
We have the Telegram voice chat on almost every day for several hours. Charlie is usually in charge of that because he's in England. So for us to hold it in the afternoon or evening in America, you're missing out on a lot of people on the other side of the world. So Charlie usually holds those voice chats. We hold a AMA about every week or every other week, depending on what we have going on. But a lot of our announcements are via Telegram and our Twitter space as well.
Cool.
One
Thank
thing
you.
that I do like, you're very transparent, and that's something that you don't see often in the space. Your video doxed. I have respect for that because you're putting your name and your personal brand and your reputation behind it. That's not easy to do, and I respect that. Let's kind of get back to the way the project has moved along. As you grow in the space, we all encounter roadblocks that we may not have anticipated because DeFi moves so quickly. 1 month in DeFi, as we all know, is a year in the real world. What challenges have you faced? You've only been live for 3 weeks, but what challenges have you faced in 3 weeks, and what have you done to overcome them?
The biggest challenge that we had right now is essentially getting eyes and volume on our project in a bear market. Normal people, they'll go out and purchase a whole bunch of calls, throw thousands of dollars at these big influencers on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and whatnot to grab those people. We're thinking outside the box. That's why we're partnering with NFL players, partnering with other people we haven't announced yet, doing more of these Twitter and AMA spaces with entities such as yourself. And one thing that we are working on right now is, instead of spending the thousands of dollars on these larger influencers, we're saving money and getting the smaller ones, helping those entities with a smaller audience. And we're going to go and partner up with professional PR firms that are outside crypto to start getting those people outside crypto to in. The latest statistics said that 95% of the world does not own crypto. Well, our goal, not only to be a community coin, is to get those people into crypto, and for us to be the door, per se, to get them into the space.
One of the greatest things you guys can appreciate, people, crypto, they think of major exchanges. They could not or understand the idea of buying Ethereum or whatever it may be and going to Uniswap and going through the process of actually getting our coin. So we have to have the ability to get that information out to these people, that there's so much more than just Bitcoin or Ethereum or the major tokens that the news or have out there. They don't even know that things like we're doing exist. So there's a hurdle that we have to overcome to get them aware of our product and your product, that we're out here, guys. You may not see us or hear about us, but we are here, and here's an avenue for you to participate in something you know nothing about. So knowledge is power, and once they have the knowledge, we're wanting them to be a part of us and be a part of you guys, to where it increases the awareness and the value for both of us. And that's why it's so enjoyable to be a part of you guys today. I was stoked when I was told that we were going to have this opportunity.
Thanks, man. We really appreciate that. It's important to us to increase accessibility and education in decentralized finance. And, we'll talk about it till we're blue in the face over here at Everrise. Like, we got to be in this for the right reasons, and we think about things like the efficient allocation of capital, ways to make sure that we're not just pushing like a zero-sum game around where it's a hot potato game to sell the top of any particular pump. So yeah, anything that anybody can do to bring longevity and responsibility to the space is to be encouraged.
Well, one of the greatest things, and I don't think Cowboy or Charlie wanted to touch on it, but when you are a project like ours and you have such low volume right now where the market cap ranges from the high twos to the low threes, the team and the developer has to expend their personal money to push marketing, to get listed on Everrise, to get listed on exchanges and things like that. And I don't think the average token holder appreciates the amount of work and the amount of capital it takes, because there's a lot of projects that would have thrown their hands up and given up, where our developer he's out pushing and pushing and putting his personal money in, where he's saying what he's doing. So he's backing up what he's saying with his personal investment. And that's huge for someone like myself to look at and saying, you know what, guys, this is real.
Yes, definitely, Rob. Yeah, honest words there. Can't really argue with that. And it is definitely correct, as Rob pointed out, that the team have put a serious amount of pennies into this out of their own pocket. The volume has